Alegrin Pneumislum, friends. Today on 11/11, we're sharing the Hollyloom holiday, celebrated by nitrins throughout the Omniverse. If you don't know what that means, we are celebrating what is called the first breath of spring. And because it's spring, I am out in nature, in a very busy area by the beach, which means you're going to be hearing possibly sirens, for sure motorcycles, and maybe a doggy or two. This Hollyloom or holiday is an observance that's all about easy breezes, gale force winds, clouds, gentle showers, torrential downpours, rainbows, and more. We sometimes forget how crucial air is to us every moment of our lives. We can't see it, and we generally breathe without even realizing it. I may have mentioned in a previous episode that the word inspiration comes from the Latin word inspiratus, which essentially means breathe into. And it's been said that before this literal meaning came to be, that the word inspiration had a theological meaning that predated that definition, and that it initially referred to the influence of a divine entity on a person. Perhaps that's why inspiration is so inspiring. Nitrins, which is the term used for those who connect with the air element, are inspiring indeed. Their chief weapon is humor, which they use to rally people and diffuse conflict. Nitrins tend to be vulnerable, gentle souls with a keen sense of duty and compassion, especially for underdogs or those on the fringes. They are often leaders by collective election, not by choice, which means nitrins make great pirate captains, by the way. I've been negligent when it comes to research about Pneumislum. Suffice it to say, you won't find anything about it online. You have to go to printed archives to glean anything of substance. But here are a few bits and pieces I've been able to scrape together over the years. I'm using the outline I used for creating another Hollyloom booklet, so let's see what we've got for each category. Description: it's basically a celebration. Like I said, it's the first breath of spring, and it's for the air element. The origins: it's been around as long as Nitris has, which means as long as air has. So it's been around for a while. The customary salutation is what I said at this opening: Alegrin Pneumislum, which means joyful breath day. As far as standard celebratory timelines go, I don't have anything on that yet. All I know is that it starts out with a parade, a hat parade to be exact, which was the precursor to Easter bonnet parades. And if anybody has ever heard of what was called Beach Blanket Babylon, that ran for decades in San Francisco as a comedic musical review, they would wear these hats that were how big across? Easily 10 feet. I mean, they were huge with big boards that went up the person's back and a huge support system. They'd have the skyline of New York City as a hat. They'd have all of Washington, D.C. Amazing hats. So that is one of the things that happens at Pneumislum, is a parade with people wearing ridiculous and huge hats. Traditionally, it's observed on March 21st, what we know as more or less the vernal equinox, and the day is marked by the promise of rebirth and renewal. Perfect for our theme this week. Often as decor, outdoor decor that is, villages are made entirely of balloon art, especially when it comes to carnivals and gatherings. The kinds of decorations you'll see are birds' nests, kites, oversized clouds, eggs, rainbows. All these are common motifs. The mascot is Clive the Curious Cloud, portrayed in person by a portly individual wearing a puffy cloud costume on their torso with gray leggings. Depending on the weather that day, they sometimes have cellophane streamers coming out of the bottom of the cloud that looks like rain. The general color scheme for Pneumislum is powder blue, silver, light gray, and white, with touches of rainbow here and there. Traditional foodstuffs include things that are light and fluffy: cotton candy, rainbow parfaits, mashed potatoes, puffy butter croissant, and especially soufflés. Soufflés are a staple, and bake-offs are viciously competitive. No one is allowed to run or speak above a whisper, in the competitive souffle kitchens, lest the ruckus cause a souffle to fall. Singing is a tremendously popular activity during this holiday, especially singing loudly and off-key. According to lore, karaoke began at a Pneumislum celebration, and singing in rounds is a key component during group activities. As for sporting activities, popular endeavors include competitive kite flying, human-sized kiting, basically you're flying on a kite, parasailing, relaxing up and down balloon rides have lines for miles, and congregants are known to arrive by hot air balloon and dirigible. However, hot air balloon races are rare these days, as they take people off-site. In other words, if you're at an event for Pneumislum, you don't want to take the hot air balloon and fly somewhere else. You want to stay at the event. That's why the hot air balloons now just go up and down. And that's about it. I don't have any information on variants, on conskus, is that how you pronounce it? Konskoos, meaning the recipes, or legends at this point. I will say, though, that looking all of this up has given me a nudge to get cracking on a Pneumislum booklet. So with that, I will sign off. Wishing you a day that's a breath of fresh air. Chediste som, everyone. Tuta.